Imagine 18,000 volunteers nationwide serving 4,000 meals a week. I would call that neighborly love, but Rhiannon Min calls it lasagna love. Welcome, Rhiannon. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Tell me about lasagna love. Where did it start? Why did you decide to do what you're doing?
So it's funny because you've probably heard me say this before, but lasagna love it was a giant accident. So this started at the beginning of the pandemic, where I think, like a lot of people, I was feeling just helpless and watching people around me struggle in so many ways, whether it was losing jobs or all of a sudden having kids at home or figuring out COVID safety protocols and just trying to navigate what the world looked like. And most volunteer opportunities were shut down for safety reasons. And so when I looked for what I could do to help, there weren't a lot of options. And I love to cook. My 3.5-year-old loves to cook. It's our happy place. And so one day we just started making extra meals, and I posted on a few moms groups on Facebook saying, hey, if you need a meal, we're there for you. Please let me drop it off at your door, contactless. And this is what was the result of that one day of cooking is, a lot of people wanted to jump in and help. And it went from just us to 10 people to 100 to now, as you said, over 18,000 volunteers across the country.
You must be astonished at the need for this.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm astonished at the need. Not as astonished as I wish I was, just given everything happening and how many families are facing food insecurity for the first time and how many parents are having to leave the workforce because they just can't figure out how to balance working remotely and distance learning and all of the things. And so I'm actually more astonished by the number of people banging on our door to help. So that's the bigger surprise to me. And it's wonderful and inspiring. And I'm so grateful that this is the feeling of our country right now.
That is a great thing. I mean, really, there's a spirit of giving and neighborliness that I think doesn't get covered enough, certainly by the media. And, who cares whether it's covered or not, because what you're doing is really making neighborhoods reactive to their needs, to their personal needs. And you're
Yes.
in all 50 states, so this is happening all over the place. So basically, what do you do?
So we have a platform that connects neighbors. So if you are a neighbor who wants to sign up and make a meal for somebody in your community, we've made it really easy, where there's a form you fill out. It gives us all the information, how far you want to drive. Do you want to cook for people with allergy requests? How often and how many do you want to cook? And we basically have a system where once a week we say, okay, like who's up for cooking this week? And who do we have in your neighborhood that lives nearby that fits what you're willing to do? And we pair you up and you reach directly out to the recipient family and say, I'm your lasagna chef. I can come by this day and drop off a lasagna. How does that sound? So it's just a way to kind of bring people together and connect people who want to help and who need a little bit of help.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's really hard for some people to ask for help.
Yeah.
And they're embarrassed about their situation or their food insecurity or their job situation, given this. How do you deal with that?
It's a really good point. And it's something we've struggled with from day one. And I remember in the beginning, I would get so many messages, especially from parents and especially from moms saying, I've seen your posts, but I was embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I hate to be reaching out, but this would be really helpful. And I think part of our culture and part of our values is making it okay, normalizing asking for help and saying, don't be embarrassed. No, like we're all in this together. Everybody needs to raise their hand at some point. And I think it's easier to see a post from a neighbor and reach out than to maybe go to the food bank or sign up with a local nonprofit. So I think the community aspect and that neighbor to neighbor kindness is really inspiring people to say, oh, you know what? It is okay for me to say, hey, it's small, but I could really use a hand today. And we're hoping that we're actually making a shift to make it a little bit easier for everybody to raise their hand when they need it.
You mentioned this a little bit, but how do you become a lasagna mama or papa?
It's super easy. So go to our website and there's a volunteer button. There's a little video that tells you all about how it works. And there's a form you fill out. Once you fill it out, you'll get a welcome email. If there's a local leader in your area, they'll reach out and say hi. And then you basically just sit and wait to get your first match.
Wow, that is easy. So lasagna, why did you pick lasagna?
Lasagna. I don't know if you have those food memories of like things that just are comfort food or warm or inviting, but to me, lasagna, right? So I'm curious what yours is. But yeah,
tacos. For me, it's tacos, obviously.
Yeah, taco. Yeah, I'm with you on that. We had tacos last night. But yeah, so I think there's a comfort in lasagna, right? It's warm, it's inviting, it's a casserole, it's a family dish. You have images of people coming around the table and all celebrating together. And I think I wanted to bring more than just a meal to someone. I wanted to show somebody love and care and energy went into this. I didn't buy it somewhere. I didn't like whip it. It's like it took a little bit to make it. And I also wanted to give people an opportunity to come together as a family. And we've heard stories about families going through some incredible tragedies during this time. And a lasagna delivery is something that gives that family a moment to just sit together and be together and sit around the table and just kind of forget what's happened outside. And so I think lasagna symbolizes so much more than just food. And it really is about love.
Well, I'm so grateful for people like you, neighbors like you who care about each other and love each other enough to do something and proactively get out there and change the world. And you're doing that, Rhiannon. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you so much for what you do for our country and everybody around you. And I wish you continued success. How do we reach out to you? What's the website?
It's www.lasagnalove.org.
Oh, that's easy. I can taste the lasagna right now.
Well, thank you so much for helping us to spread the word. I appreciate it.
It is my pleasure.